is our third week of Lion Leadership Lessons. Week 1 was with Dr. Paul Wright, and he talked to us about aiming big, mental skills. And last week, Coach Travis had us across the street at the grocery store, talking about how to be more efficient and effective with our shopping, not only for your wallet, but also just to find the best nutrition and better foods, things like that. And I'm gonna continue the tradition this week. So please keep your Wednesday afternoons kind of open, just so we can. We're planning on bringing you something every week like this. Today I'm going to talk about championship minds. And the quote I thought was that would kind of best describe the overall theme for the day is that the mind is a wonderful servant and a terrible master. And by that I mean that when your mind is working for you and you have control of your emotions and your actions, the world's a great place. There's lots of positive things that are going to come in your life, and you're going to achieve a lot. And when your mind is kind of spinning out of control and you have bad habits that are taking you down a negative path, things are just going to get worse and worse and worse, kind of like quicksand. So today is all about making your mind work for you, not work against you. Come on, there you go. Grab a sheet. So today is all about getting our minds to work for us, whether that is in the classroom, on the football field, in relationships, spend time with your family. Many of you are going to go on to work in the business world. Very few of us will play football at the next level. So this applies to anything and everything that you're going to encounter in your life. But it starts with Kung Fu. So a little about me. My relationship with Kung Fu is I can't break a board or punch through a brick or anything like that. I don't know a karate chop from like a chop salad, but what I do know is when I was a young boy and as I was a young man, I had a fascination. I really enjoyed watching Kung Fu movies. And I'm talking about the ones where they're dubbed, they were filmed in China, and then they're dubbed into English, and the guy's mouth is still working, but the speaking has stopped and vice versa. And the worse the footage was and the worse the special effects were, the more I liked it. And that's a phase I was in for many years. And I probably still do like it, but I just don't get to watch a whole lot of movies lately. But for me, Kung Fu, I was a big Bruce Lee fan. Loved watching his movies, Game of Death, Enter the Dragon, whatever it was. And Kung Fu's kind of around a little bit now. They've got the cartoon movies with Jack Black. The Wu-Tang Clan with RZA. He's come out with some movies now, things like that. But that was something that was just really entertaining me, and I loved watching all the discipline and the action and everything like that. But I watched so many of these movies, you guys don't have to, because I broke them all down. Basically, every Kung Fu movie you're going to watch is going to fit into a 3-step pattern. There's 3 ingredients to a good Kung Fu movie. Step 1, the bad guys are going to come to the main character's home or Kung Fu school, and they're going to kill people or steal or cheat in a fight, anything like that. And worst of all, they might call your Kung Fu weak. And that's a big no-no. You call a man's Kung Fu weak, that's like throwing shade and being a hater, trolling, all rolled into one. It's no good. So after step 1, after that negative encounter, comes step 2. Our main character is going to go on to learn a new skill, maybe join up with a new partner. They might climb a mountain. They might snatch a fish out of the water. They might destroy something like a tree or a coconut or a building with some kicks and chops. And then step 3, after step 2, after they've learned this new skill or accomplished this task or whatever it is, they're going to go on to step 3. And when you see step 3, you realize that in step 2, their mind-body connection, it grew. And whatever it took for them to grow that mind-body connection, they're going to have a greater ability to practice their Kung Fu. And then they're going to go get revenge or save somebody or whatever the end of the movie is. But I learned something recently that made me reflect on this Kung Fu. Because I don't think about this stuff every day. But I recently learned that Kung Fu is actually not the name of a martial art. Because all this time I thought that Kung Fu was a brand, like maybe jiu-jitsu or wrestling or boxing. I thought it was a form of fighting. But I recently learned that Kung Fu actually has a separate meaning. What is Kung Fu? In its original meaning, Chinese, Kung Fu can refer to any discipline or skill achieved through hard work and practice, not necessarily martial arts. And I jot that message down so we can have that up the whole time, because I want you guys thinking about that the entire time. That's what we're talking about today. We're not talking about martial arts or karate kicks or anything like that. We're talking about any discipline or skill achieved through hard work and practice. And think about your position on the field. If you're a running back, that's your Kung Fu. That's your offensive player. You need to learn your plays. You need to practice, keep your body strong, keep your mind clear, everything like that. If you are an accountant, accounting is your Kung Fu. If you're a teacher, teaching is your Kung Fu. If you're a professional Kung Fu fighter, then Kung Fu is your Kung Fu. But it doesn't matter what you're doing. Anything that takes discipline or skill achieved through hard work and practice is your Kung Fu. And I believe that still fits with at least our last steps 2 and 3. Is that by practicing it and gathering new skills and achieving new heights of practice, you're going to grow your mind-body connection, and you're going to have a greater ability to practice your Kung Fu, whether that's accounting or selling shoes or whatever it is. So a little bit more about me. Yes, I'm an athletic performance coach here at the university, but I have a great interest in psychology. And over the time that I've been able to work in this area, I've noticed that the mind and the body are connected. They're not separate. As many times as we want to think that lifting a barbell is just working on the body, no, it's working on your central nervous system. It's affecting your brain, everything like that. And that's just scratching the surface. There's sports psychology. There's all the things that happen when you're doing mental rehearsal, and the list goes on and on. If you get the chance to go back and watch Paul Wright's address to us 2 weeks ago, we have that filmed and that's available to you. So just reach out if you're interested in watching that. For me, I'm still working on a degree. Slowly, I take a class, maybe one class the first semester, maybe I take a semester off, but I'm working on a master's degree in professional counseling. And I don't want to get that degree and then go do something else. I want to get that degree and apply it to athletics, to work with you guys and other athletes to help show you how important it is to have not only a healthy body, but a healthy mind, and also to kind of add your toolbox. So you see on your handout there, and we'll go through it as well. I have tools to share with you today. I hope that you guys come to every single one of these Wednesday afternoons, but we will never have some big ultimate answer for you. All we're going to have is tools. And if you keep coming and keep learning from us and learn on your own, you're just going to keep gathering tools until you have this monster toolbox. And if you learn to use those tools, the things you'll be able to accomplish are going to be incredible. So the first item on your handout, and the first item that I'm really going to switch over and start talking about here, is locus of control. Has anybody heard that term before, locus of control? Okay, so that's something I picked up in reading, but I had heard about it in like a high school psychology course as well. It's just a basic principle, and we'll define it soon enough. But a commandant, so a really head honcho for the Marines, Charles C. Kulak believed that Marines could be better at acting out on initiative and being self-motivated. In a quote that he has, he says, "The Marines that are coming out of basic training are wet socks." Pretty insulting, I wouldn't want to be called a wet sock. I don't see any wet socks here today. But to avoid those wet socks, he said, they're not men and women of action. What can I do to make them more productive? He goes and he talks to psychologists and experts in that area, and they say what you want to do is develop their internal locus of control. They say if you make an internal locus of control better in your Marines, like they get through that basic training, no more wet socks. Now you're going to have leaders and self-starters. So not just a Marine, but anybody, a person with internal internal locus of control believes that he or she can influence events and their outcomes, while someone with an external locus of control blames outside forces for everything. So that internal locus of control, summarize it, they have a victor mindset. That external locus of control, to summarize it, they've got a victim mindset. And if I was to, kind of give an example there, has anybody ever had a teacher give them a D on a test? Or has anybody ever earned a D on a test? So if I've got that victor mindset, I get a D on a test or maybe an A, and I say that's because of me. I didn't study hard enough, or I studied enough, and I know the material. That victim mindset, the teacher doesn't like me, the test wasn't fair, whatever it is, but there's always a reason that doesn't have to do with them. So that's what that locus of control is about, is taking whatever the issue is and seeing that really you had an impact on it. Seeing that you believe that you can influence events and their outcomes. Unless you got a bad teacher, in which case that's tough luck. But you got to stick to that belief anyways, that you influence events and their outcomes. Having that internal locus of control, according to studies, will help you do better in school. We're all in school right now, trying to get those good grades and move on to bigger and better things. Dealing better with stress, you will all experience stress. If you haven't dealt with it today, you'll probably deal with it tomorrow. Whether it's a broken alarm clock, making you a couple of minutes late to waking up, or getting a flat tire, or maybe getting a D on a test, whatever it is. Finding more active solutions to problems. You will always have problems. I guarantee you. But that internal locus of control, it's about being a problem solver, being a self-starter, having initiative, attacking those problems. Greater satisfaction with work, unless you hit the lottery, you're all working for the next 40 years. So it's probably best that you get a greater satisfaction every day out of your work. Greater goal orientation, set goals, achieve them, set new goals, repeat, right? But I can't just tell you guys about this locus of control, all right? It's not some super secret, passcode that's gonna get you to the next level. I can bring it up, and I can challenge you to see the connection between your efforts and the results. If you're training hard in the weight room, your squat will probably go up. If you're studying hard on the books, your test grades and GPA will probably go up. Take control of your own life. Have that internal locus of control. Your efforts determine your results. And make sure to pay for that locus of control. You guys have a really easy diagram on the top of your hand out there. Can you all read that one? Okay? Makes sense? Great. Now I want to talk about responses versus reactions. And just to define that reaction, it's a thoughtless reflex, maybe acting out that first urge. So we have football players in here. What happens when a ref makes the worst call ever? You get upset. What have we all either done or seen a million times? Okay, the terrible call happens, some curse words come out, the hands go up. I mean, this little movement right here, there's some deep-rooted reflex in there, but you're going to see bad calls, I guarantee it. Or it was a good call and you were just wrong, maybe you got your bell wrong and you were seeing things. But when those hands go up, that's a reaction. The response is an intentional action with a result in mind. Ref makes his terrible call, his or her terrible call. What does a response look like? You keep your head up, you look to the coaches for any new information, and you go back to work. The play is over with, you can't do anything about it. When you react, the curse words come out, the hands go up. Okay, so now what do we got? You've embarrassed the team, coach is mad at you, the ref doesn't like you anymore than he did before, and maybe you even took away some yards on us, right? So that's a reaction versus a response. And that's a great story. You guys have heard that a million times. We've all been on the sideline for 100 games. We've seen it over and over again. But the story that I was told, I was given this story to remember this response versus react by, and it stuck with me, so I want to share it with you guys as well. So I want you guys to think about being soldiers in Vietnam. I've read that the average age is 21, and I know that you guys are all here, are within a year or two of that now. So I want you to imagine being drafted in the Army, being sent over to a country you had never heard of. They train you up a little bit, and then they give you boots and a heavy pack, helmet on your head and gun in your hands, and they tell you that you've got to march 15 miles up through this valley to join forces with other soldiers. And it's a night mission because there's enemies. You're going through enemy territory. And so you leave and you're hiking and your pack is heavy and it's hot because it's Vietnam and it's a very humid and hot country. And you got mosquitoes biting on your neck and there's like weird snakes and things crawling around the jungle you've never seen before. There's like animals making scary little noises in the background. And you're marching and you're halfway through, you've been marching for 7 or 8 miles. And you step on a twig or a branch, and the branch makes a big loud crack. And it's already dark, it's a nighttime mission, and the trees are so thick and the plants are so thick, and what you don't see is an enemy soldier 20 or 30 yards away. And he hears that crack of the branch that you just stepped on. And he can't see you, it's dark, but he's got a gun too, and he picks it up, and he fires off a few shots in your direction. Well, now you're under fire. Faraway country that you never heard of, you got a heavy pack on your back, you're sweating, it's scary, it's dark, you've got a gun in your hands, he shoots at you, you're not just going to take that, you're going to turn and shoot back, right? Well, when you take a few shots, you take it from him hearing a branch snap and being scared to him knowing that there's enemy soldiers in his backyard. And so when you fire those shots, he gets on the walkie-talkie or he runs back and grabs his buddies, and now you've got 50 guys combing the jungle looking for you. And who knows how that's going to end. Well, let's take it back to stepping on that branch. The branch snaps, the enemy soldier takes some shots, fires off. What if instead of shooting back, you just took a knee behind a tree and you were real quiet? He'd probably think he was just hearing things, and he'd go back to whatever he's doing, and you could stand up and continue your hike up through the valley without having 50 enemy soldiers chase you down. And sometimes, and when I think about response versus react, I think about that branch, it's not just that branch snapping, you can't help that, but when you get fired at, sometimes you don't fire back. Sometimes you just take a knee and wait it out, and then you get up and you continue your mission. We were playing tag on the field yesterday and guys were reacting instead of responding. And that's okay, it happens, but it's a skill to be practiced. It's a tool to be sharpened and placed in your toolbox. So think about whether it's thinking about the ref and the guys that are going, maybe it's you, maybe you'll do it, you'll throw your hands up, I'll probably hear a bad call on the sideline this year and I'll be doing it, but that doesn't help anything. Think about responding instead of reacting. Watch the movie Forrest Gump if you hadn't seen it. All right, so I borrowed a slide from Dr. Wright's presentation from 2 weeks ago. Again, it's a great presentation. Reach out to us, we'll get you the link to that information, and you'll be better for it. But this is one of the slides that he had, power of mental imagery. If an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. And really the way that relates to us is that when negative comments and thoughts come in and hit us, and we believe them, whatever path we're on, we get off that path. We take a negative turn. If an egg is broken by an inside force, then life begins. Okay, when that positive thought starts working inside your head, you're going to go on to do great things. You're going to stay on your path, or you're going to take a positive step upwards. Great things happen from the inside. So the power of your brain, I can only repeat it so many times, and I'm happy to repeat it 100 more. But what we're doing today is we're adding tools to your box and teaching you how to use your brain, right? What's that? Somebody read off that quote from the top of the handout there.
What's this, right?
The mind is what?
The mind is a wonderful servant and a terrible master.
Yep, so we want to take it from being your master, if it is, and make sure that's your servant, make sure it's working for you. All right, who wants to be my volunteer for now? Oh, you can sit right there, you're fine right there. Just get comfortable, close your eyes. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Tight end. Can you name a scenario which you might need to make a big play?
Sure, we gotta say third, fourth, five, third, fourth, or five, and the ball's coming my way.
Okay. And how does that play? What you playing right side, left side?
I'm on the right side right now, and I'm running a scout route.
Okay.
4 and out.
Okay, you're running 4 and out from the right side. What number's on your jersey?
87.
87. So be watching yourself. Start picturing yourself from about 10 yards away. You can be 10 yards behind, to the side, above, whatever it is, but you're watching from the outside now. Okay, so the ball snaps. What's your first action?
Take a step with my right foot to get around the DN.
Okay, what's your second action?
Left step, take 2 more until I'm on my left again, and I cut outside.
Okay, now where did we start?
At the 25-yard line.
Okay. And are your eyes on the ball, or are you listening?
Well, as soon as I cut, my head's gonna snap around to locate the ball.
Are your eyes on the ball for the snap?
No.
You're listening to the count.
Yeah, I'm listening for a clap.
Okay. And what number are you wearing?
87.
87. And what's your first movement?
Take a step with my right foot,
And your second movement?
left foot.
And we're going 4 and out.
Mm-hmm.
Any clue how many steps that takes you to get there?
What's exactly my 4 steps?
It's exactly your 4 steps. And you get to that 4th step, and then what happens?
And I turn my right foot to the outside and I cut out. I float out a little bit.
Okay. So you're watching yourself from the outside. You got a pretty clear picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, how do you feel while you're running that play?
Pretty confident.
Confident.
It's
You've
one of
done
my
it.
favorite plays.
It's one of your favorite plays. How about how's the temperature that night?
It's pretty hot like it is right now.
Okay, it's a hot night, kind of like it is right now. Sweaty.
Yeah.
Sweaty. Do you get your ankles taped? Do you wear a knee brace or
Always ankles taped.
Always. Okay, always ankles taped. Is it tight on your ankles? Is it tight on your feet?
Mm-hmm.
How's the jersey sit on your upper body?
It's very tight.
Very tight. You're a big muscular guy, of course it is. How's the helmet feeling?
Just normal.
Just normal helmet. Can you smell anything?
Not really.
Is that concession stand you go on? Any stinky teammates?
I'm next to Gurney. I could probably smell him out.
Okay, yeah, there's a possibility there. Are you tired?
No.
No, you're juiced up, right? How do you feel right now thinking about that play?
Pretty much in it.
Pretty much in it. How does it feel right now, sitting here away from that play? How do you feel thinking about that play?
I mean, I feel good about it. I know everything I have to do, and then I'm going to do it.
Do you enjoy mentally rehearsing that play?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So our steps for mental rehearsal, we've got 3 of them. One is that you vividly see yourself performing successfully. So we're going to break it down more and more until we know the first move, the second move, maybe a step count. What you don't want a generalization. You don't want a smoky, hazy picture. You want to repeat that over and over again until you really see it. And you can, you can do it like a first-person view, like through your face mask. But I've read that it's more beneficial to view it as an outsider. That's why I had him, be 10 yards away from any angle, watching himself perform. And then I asked him, how does he feel while it's occurring? So that's kind of putting him back in his own shoes and to sense it a little bit more. And I would encourage you to practice it both ways, from that 10 yards out and from your own spot. And then, while he was going here, you guys can't see it, but he's almost like smiling a little bit, like, I love this play. I know what I'm doing. I'm confident. And that's how you want to do. That's how you want to do that. Is you want to enjoy being successful when you're not on the field. And you think about it so clearly and so many times that it almost changes from mental rehearsal. It almost changes from that into a memory. And once it's a memory, it's something that you've done already, and you can go out and do it again. John, first game of the year this year, right? Have you been here for the last 3 times we played them? All right, I have nothing personal against UCO. It's just that they're our first game on the docket, and they've beat us more than we beat them. So, as far as mental rehearsal goes, you guys can wait until the morning of August 31st to start thinking about that game, or you can start now. It's our chance to kind of even the overall score, even the record. In 2014, they kind of took it to us there with a 45-13 win for them, and they got us again in 2015. Last year we got the win, but we had some luck fall our way. Bakari Triggs played out of his mind. He got 3 interceptions. 2 of those were pick sixes. Deshaun Warren was outrunning their backfield. Bubba Sparks, Kendall Sparks he had an awesome night on special teams. He was so impressive. He had just an outstanding night, and just obviously it takes a whole team to win, but we had a lot of things fall our way. I want you guys to start thinking about August 31st of 2017. Start doing mental rehearsal for different plays and scenarios. See yourself winning. See yourself being victorious. Have a victor mindset, not a victim mindset, right? This would be part of your skill set, practicing your kung fu. All right, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about kind of getting in the zone. And sometimes you need to be revved up, and sometimes you need to be chilled out. So what we did this morning, we had a recovery day. We relaxed. We kept it a little bit quieter. We did a lot of breathing, especially at the end there. And that's a way that you can change the way that your brain's firing, your brain waves. You can change your biochemistry. You can change your heart rate. You can change your muscle tension through breathing, movements, mantras, music, and imagery. And all that just comes from active decisions. Your conscious mind can affect your subconscious mind and body. So with breathing, everybody just sit back and kind of relax how you are right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 to 5 really fast, big, powerful breaths. You can join me if you want. Now. My heart rate's up. I'm kind of turned up a little bit here, but I'm just standing here presenting. I don't have time for that. I need to be able to think clearly, and it's just us sitting here. So now I'm going to take my calm, deeper, relaxing breaths, just like we did this morning. I'm going to try to pull in for 4 seconds. And exhale for 4 seconds. And I'll do a little pause after that as well. And my belly button's moving, not what a change for me. That's a total shift in my state. That's just breathing. You guys can do that anytime you want. When you're getting ready for a big lift, when you're getting ready to take a drill or practice, when you're getting ready to go into the game, you're breathing. You might start doing that heavier, faster breathing. And when you get off the sideline or after a workout or after a set, that calmer, deeper breathing might come in. And I talk about breathing quite a bit. I'm gonna stop talking about it now because I know I'm gonna talk about it all the time in the future. So, and John, you probably heard me talk about it. Like it's probably your fifth breathing lecture from me. Just so we don't get the police call on us, I'll do the rest of these on videos. But let's move on to our movement. So, movement: pump the fist, clap the hands, jumping around, pounding your chest. Who's a movement guy for up-tempo stuff on the team? Ken Campbell. He's a hand clapper big time. And it helps, he invests energy and it creates more energy. I know it kind of wakes me up sometimes, and I see it to the guys that are near him. Sometimes just doing that simple little thing can help us out. So sometimes that movement. Okay, well, we know the haka, right? Somebody call it out for me. Okay, well, if you've ever seen the New Zealanders and Australians get after it, the tongues out and the chest thumping. That's what I was trying to show you now. We also have the video of Coach Asha taking us through yoga. That's another, just like that coach, right? Video is available to you. We've got a video of you guys doing yoga. You can go on there and you can watch it again and use the moves again. But anytime you want, you can go back to kind of being one of these, you can use it to throttle up, you can use it to throttle down. How about a mantra? Mantra is something quick that you can say almost with a single breath over and over and over again. Something to help you focus and change your state. So very similar to that breathing, very similar to the movement. Yes, I can. And game day, get money, let's go. Kalen's a let's go guy. He loves it. Get money gets thrown out around here every once in a while. But how simple is let's go? It's a positive message. It has direction. It's easy to say. And if you say it loud enough and enough times, you'll feel your state shift. As far as the throttle down mantra, I mean, you gotta, and all this is very personalized. You gotta pick something that you're gonna say. Maybe that's not you to say that, but you have to find something that works for you to say. But as far as throttle down, you might tell yourself to clear your mind. You might say, okay, relax the body, chill baby, chill, whatever it is. But find something that you would say and that helps, maybe has personal meaning to you or just works for you. As far as the music, let's see if you guys get turned up or turned down by this. Up, down, neutral. Okay, and maybe some of you have emotional attachment to it like I do. And here's one, I reached out to one of the players the other day and just asked for a hype song. And this one, I'm gonna give it a little extra time, but we'll just see if you guys like it. You know, I listened to it for the first time and it kind of took me a second.
All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move that could be my last. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move that could be my last. I just pulled up in the Benz, it was just me and my man. Fish for no time, scooping on all your friends. Most of that shit the movies, ain't got no love for ass. Cause I'm
Yeah. So, hyped you up, neutral, down. Yeah, so it's got some parts that kind of get going, and you know, it's whatever works for you guys.
ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long at any time.
Hyped up, neutral, helping you calm down a little bit.
Calm down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great song. Anytime you guys need something to calm down to, find something associated with Motown records. It's a good trick to go. So a song I like to call Thunder Nature Sounds. So it doesn't have words to it, it's just a sound bit that I've come to like. And a lot of times I'm having trouble sleeping, I'll put that on or something similar to it, and it knocks me out. But it's got a little thunder in there. I mean, somebody in here might be getting hyped up by it, but something like that.
Bring the thunder, man.
That's right. I mean, but sound of water and water in general, our bodies tend to help. It tends to help us relax. Tends to help us turn down a little bit. And this one, I'm very curious about this one. Where we at on that one? Hyped up, neutral,
Like neutral.
chill out.
Beginning to be heavy soon, hyped up.
Yeah, so we'll try to get one of those in there. what the song is, whatever works for you, right? So I'll listen to that rainstorm and it'll calm me down, it'll put me to sleep. So just find what works for you, build a little like lists or database. About imagery. So an image in your mind or an image that you have that you keep around, something that you can actually look at. Think about an image maybe of a battleship, this big metal structure cutting through the ocean. It's got guns the size of houses and shoots bolts the size of cars. I mean, it's really an incredible thing. A volcano, it's like an act of God. It shoots, there's fire raining from the sky. Big successful lift, think about yourself under a heavy weight. Maybe a lion roaring. Think about those lions who are just like have just eaten and there's blood all over them and they've got that drool and everything coming out and a big nasty chest on them. Or maybe it's time to calm down and you just think about like a calm lake or a sunset. When I was typing this out, I was thinking about just random things. I started thinking about a breeze. And as I was thinking about it, I was just, okay, if I was the image, if I imagine that, does it really calm me down? And I almost started to get goosebumps a little bit just because, I was thinking about it. So just whatever works for you. Those are examples. You might even take like a postcard size image with something that hypes you up, and on the backside you put something that calms you down. And before practice or before a game, you're on the hype up side, and afterwards you hype down. Whatever it is, throttle up, throttle down. Just for time, we won't do a volunteer on this one, but I do have some more things for you guys. So let's think about 3 self-reflection questions on being a teammate. Question 1, what am I doing that is hurting my team? Is it partying on the weekends? Is it back talking teachers or coaches? Whatever it is, the list is endless. What am I not doing that is hurting my team? So are you not showing up on time? Are you not giving your best? What am I currently doing that is helping my team? So while questions 1 and 2 might have to do with things that you need to drop or add, question 3 is really important in that what are you doing that's good that we don't want to stop doing, that's helping? And that 4th bullet is about creating an action plan. What specific action steps will I take to be a better teammate moving forward? What things to stop doing, what things to start doing? It's pretty darn simple. Just take a step back, look at how you're behaving, how your behavior is affecting the team, and try to adjust that behavior. Does this remind anybody of a term that we talked about earlier today? Quiz time, sharp.
A quote?
No, a term.
Locus?
Locus, yeah, so it's questions to yourself because you guys you're not wet socks, right? You have the internal locus of control. So take time to just kind of reflect and look inward. And this would be a simpler version of it. I even found kind of a sunset picture on campus through Google. So it's gut check time. At sunrise or in the morning, first thing, how will I be a champion today? At sunset, ask yourself, how was I a champion today? And last quiz question for you. Is your Kung Fu strong? Guys, that's all I have.